Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Wake Up Wednesdays. So, wake up. We have a beautiful rainy day here in Westchester, New York, getting plenty of rain, and it is watering all of my trees, so I'm loving it. I find the rain when I look out the window sometimes to be very calming. But welcome to Wake Up Wednesdays. And these Wake Up Wednesdays are an opportunity for us to reinvigorate one another, for us to pick our heads up and check in on our plan to make sure that we're tracking towards our plan. Because what naturally happens is the week gets away from us. Everyone's emailing us and chatting us and pinging us, and we're getting pulled into meetings. And before we know it, we look down at our GSD list and we're not making progress towards our outcomes. So this is an opportunity midweek to pick our heads up, to reinvigorate one another, and to get going. I want to talk to you guys today about an article that I posted in the group chat entitled AI and Atlassian, how Atlassian is using AI as they rolled out in their Team 24. So, what is Atlassian? What is Team 24? As you guys know, Atlassian is an Australian-based company. In 2023, they generated about 3.5, 3.6 billion with a B dollars in revenue. And they have about 250 in the conference. They said that they have grown to 300,000 users. Now, that's an understatement because if they'll consider a single user, if they come into an organization and that organization has 50,000 people, 100,000 people, they consider that as one. Atlassian is the gold standard premier um, software and enterprise suite for project, product managers, team collaboration, and they're continuing to expand on that suite. So once a year, every year, they do a conference. They hold that in Las Vegas, and then they also do a digital access pass for a little less money for more of a discount. If you go as a group, obviously they give you a discount, or if you're one of their premier clients, you get discounts. But these conferences are pretty pricey, but well worth it. They have keynote speakers across their hosts, their presidents, their co-founders, key partners that have been with them for over 10 years. So what Atlassian has done is they have rolled out something called Atlassian Cloud with Atlassian Guard. And this will give you access to all of their tools in a seamless integrated environment on the cloud. And Guard is their security features, their enhanced security features. And as part of their standard model, you get access to all their standard tools. And as part of the Premier model, you get additional access to controls and tools. This is very important because they can give you access to everything that you need in their cloud environment. So if you're like me and you've been using Atlassian tools for over 10 years, you know that there were times where if you're using Jira Server and you have Team A in this instance and Team B in this instance, you need to pull information from all different instances, all different sources, pull it together in some type of spreadsheet tool, Excel, and try and make sense of it. With things like Atlassian Cloud and Atlassian Guard, your administrative team, your admin team is totally in control of all of your access, who can see what, and you don't have to pull information from multiple sources. This also works with something that they call Atlassian Analytics, in which you can hook up things like Jira, you can hook up things like Jira Align to a single dashboard that they will give you templates for, and Jira Align and Jira will pull together to give you more intuitive metrics to make better data-driven decisions. But at its core, what Atlassian has done is they have created some new unique tools and through mergers and acquisitions, bought some firms to help create a unified, integrated project management enterprise team collaboration tool to provide better outcomes for teams and more collaboration. So as part of their Confluence tool, which is their website tool, their database tool, which, like I said, can connect to Jira, can connect to Jira Align to create automated dashboards. They have now rolled out a connected whiteboard. And it may not sound like a lot, but this is a big deal. And let me explain why this is such a big deal. Back in the old days, I used to have to run to Staples and spend $300-400 of my own money and try and persuade some of the folks, the guys and gals on the team, to come with me to Staples. And I say, I'll buy you lunch, whatever I needed, I'll buy you coffee, so that they could carry all these heavy easels and whiteboards and stickies and markers, and we would have to commandeer a conference room, lock everybody into a conference room. We had all these big whiteboards. We'd write everything down on the stickies. We'd be in there for 3 hours. We'd be in there for 3 days. And now you have all this great information. You had this amazing offsite. And what happens? Who is the guy, who's the gal that gets stuck at the end of the conference that now has to take all this analog information that's in the room, and it's good information, and transpose that into a digital environment and keep that up to date? So if you wasn't using Jira software, if you weren't using Atlassian software, if you weren't using Confluence to transpose this, if you're using something like PowerPoint or using Excel or Google Sheets or Adobe Acrobat, you had to keep updating these things. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. I am still a big in-person kind of a person, and I still agree 100% on in-person offsites when and if possible, and doing things longhand, so to speak, with the actual stickies. The difference is when you have a virtual whiteboard that they created in Confluence in their web-based / database services, using their AI, you can now connect that automatically to Jira. So this is why it's so powerful. So if you're doing a 3-hour whiteboarding session and you have multiple people collaborating all around the globe on these stickies, and then your AI can, based on how you configure the AI, can automatically categorize and assign these things. I'm curious to see how that works. But at the very least, it can take all these different sticky information, all these different categories, and automatically transfer it into Jira. So there is no more dual keying. There's no more double typing. There's no more administrative work. This is very powerful. They also introduced something called Jira Sheets, where you can interact with Jira in more of a Google Sheets and more of a Microsoft Excel-like way, as this is the way most of us are interacting with Jira when we're tracking large projects, when we're tracking large programs, when we're working across multiple teams. So it might seem like a little thing rolling out a whiteboarding tool inside of Confluence, but why it's so powerful is the interconnectivity, and it saves a tremendous amount of time. So I mentioned Atlassian Cloud, I mentioned Atlassian Guard, I mentioned Atlassian Analytics, I mentioned Confluence Whiteboard, and I talked a little bit about their AI. Now, they are utilizing from what I can tell, they are using the most and the best of OpenAI's ChatGPT, or their version of it, that they call Rovo. Now, once again, once you're connected in the Jira Cloud, and once your admin sets up your Atlassian Guard, you can configure what they call AI agents, what I've been referring to as AIAs, artificial intelligence assistants. You can configure that AI agent to have access to what you want it to have access to and what you don't want to have access to. And why this is important is because this Rovo agent will pull across all of your Jira projects, everything you have listed in Jira Align, OKR Hub, all the different Confluence pages, all the different chats, all the different tickets, and any other connected services. So you can connect it to other things like Google Sheets. Okay, you can have APIs, and it'll pull all that information. There's even a browser extension, and it'll automatically summarize this. Once again, you're in full control with Atlassian Cloud and Atlassian Guard. based on what you configure it to and not to have access to. You can even customize the personality on it like you can with something like a chat GPT and tell it to be a little more concise, a little more collaborative. Now, when we think about AI using the whiteboarding, once again, we have multiple teams collaborating in a whiteboarding session, and you have the AI agent, what I call AIAs, artificial intelligence assistants, and you can actually collaborate with the AI as if it were a team member and ask it, can you automatically take these 15 different stickies and categorize them? And it'll pull all that information and categorize it. You can tell it to search through last year's projects, and based on last year's projects, help you come up with some stickies for a brainstorming session, and it'll automatically populate some of that information. Now, once again, I have not seen that work in real time yet with real projects and real data, but I'm very excited to see what the potential is. Believe me, it's one of the worst things in the world when you're standing in front of a room full of people and you have all of your team members there and you're trying to get a whiteboarding session going, and um, folks are afraid to be the first one to raise their hand and to write a sticky. And as the facilitator, as the moderator, you're always the first one to write the sticky, and you have to encourage everyone. By pressing a button and asking Rovo, hey, can you pull from last year's projects where we built this website, where we built this database, and see if there's any additional stickies information we can put on for this new project? And it'll start to populate that information, which will then invite everyone. Once again, you can see here that I have a bias towards AI in terms of how I use it, and I see it as an assistant. I see it as an additional tool. I know some folks feel differently, and that's okay. I am giving you my bias and my perspective on how I would use it as someone that's been using Atlassian for over 10 years and has been managing projects and product for almost 20 years. And if you look at all the different features and functions they rolled out and you've never seen the software before, it's going to be intimidating because there's a lot to it. But if you've grown with it over the years and you've seen all the things that they've slowly started to develop, then it's a little easier. But if you're a new time user, what I would say is start off with the standard membership and just learn things a little at a time. Maybe start off with one Jira project, one Confluence page, and start to interact with Rovo to see how it works. The other really powerful thing they talked about with Rovo is automatically summarizing information. So once again, it's not uncommon for me to sit down with a leadership team inside of a C-suite meeting, an executive meeting, and then say, Mark, I have over 500 JIRAs in my world. I don't even know what all this is. It's not broken down by epics. There's no types of categories and initiatives. Can you do me a favor? Can you read through all that? Can you get it under control? Can you give me a summary? Right? That used to be a big part of my job when I would come into a project, when I'd come into a product launch, and maybe the leadership team wasn't as aware of what the other team is doing. Now you can have Rovo go in and tell it to read through 500, 5,000 pieces of information and give you a summary. Very powerful. So also speaking about the disconnect between sort of, your senior leadership and, your designers and your developers and everyone in between, they have now introduced this concept of common goals. So where you have multiple projects, multiple teams working on things, multiple executives here, designers, developers here, but now they can see that they're working towards a common goal. They also introduced something called scorecards. So you can customize those scorecards. So now you can go to a web page that automatically populates from Jira, automatically populates from Jira Align. And by web page, I mean one of their web pages where they give you a template, and you can get folks on the same page based on the same goals. Now, this is in complementary to, as you guys know, we have Jira Align. We have something that they rolled out called OKR Hub. These things are not new. They're complementary. So speaking of OKR Hub or Objectives and Key Results, that hub, that will help to align the vision, the mission, the purpose, the objectives and key results in a smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound, smart, in a smart way to connect what all the different Jira user stories and epics are about. They talk about more customization. So half the battle when trying to get teams to collaborate, to work together, half the challenge is everyone speaking the same language. So for years, I've been explaining to people what an epic is, what an initiative is, what a user story is, what the difference between those are, what an OKR is. And it's hard because before you can get into the meat and potatoes and start working on the actual product or making progress on the project, you have to go through all this different language and terminology. Now what they've introduced is the ability to customize this for your team. So just like teams can have their own cool names, you don't necessarily have to call it an epic. You can rename these things. I think this is good because I like the customization. And last but certainly not least, they introduce Loom. So they purchased Loom, and Loom is designed for the purpose of helping teams work in a asynchronous manner. So Loom will allow you to take a quick video for the purpose of a SOP, a standard operating procedure, for the purpose of a quick sales pitch. And with Loom's AI, it'll allow you to record a quick video clip. It'll automatically create a transcript. It'll automatically highlight the key highlights. It'll automatically touch up the video, remove all of the filler words like ums and ahs and oohs, and help to create almost like your personal video assistant, so that when you're working with someone that's 14 hours away, 4 hours away, 4 hours away, and you need to talk to them for a quick 15 minutes and you have the time but they don't, you can record a quick video, you can record your screen, and you can send it to them for them to look at when they have time. So this is a very powerful tool when you think about asynchronous teams, where teams can't always be in sync, or they don't have to always be in sync, which will also reduce meeting times. So a lot of complaints I hear is that, Mark, we're in too many meetings, I don't have time to write code, I don't have time to design, I'm in all these meetings, I'm taking all these trainings. So Loom will help with this. I think they did a really good job integrating all these different features. It's not that Loom is designed to take away from in-person meetings. Once again, I'm an in-person kind of a guy. When I can't do in person, I like virtual meetings. And now to have the additional option to say, well, we don't have time for a meeting, even if it's virtually, let me record a quick Loom and send that over for a quick 15-minute video, 5-minute video, even 2.5-minute video to help explain, and I can send that out to a large audience. So I'm very excited about that. I think overall, the key features that Atlassian rolled out, they're heavily leaning into their AI, their Rovo AI, which is, from what I can tell, based on OpenAI's ChatGPT, in terms of automatically helping you write tickets, write stories, summarize information. Oh, I forgot. They also introduced something called Jira Service Desk. So similar to ServiceNow, you can have Jira Service Desk. Their claim to fame on that was that they worked with Domino's Pizza, and now Domino's Pizza had over 5 to 7 different ITSM tools, got rid of all of them, and uses Jira Service Desk. And by using Rovo, their AI agent, and Jira Service Desk, you can automate tickets, you can automate release notes, and all of these things will help populate it. So it's an additional assistant to help you. So in summary, we have Atlassian Cloud and integrating all of their services onto their cloud, such as Atlassian Guard for safety and security, customizing from an administrative perspective, customizing what can and can't be seen in different permission levels throughout the organization or throughout your business. We have Atlassian Analytics. So once everything's connected, giving you analytics into what's happening with your teams. We have Confluence whiteboards, connected whiteboards, and the automation features in taking that whiteboard into automatically populating and creating Jiras for you. We have the Rovo and the Rovo browser extension, and how you can hook Rovo up to other SaaS tools for all of the automation, the automatic summaries, automatically populate, having that having that augment the team as an additional agent for the team, as additional artificial intelligence assistant. And then we have Loom for the purpose of trying to reduce meetings, increase efficiency, having asynchronous teams. So all in all, this is just a quick summary of some of the features that resonated with me. There is a lot more. It was a long conference, and I saved the best for last. The best for last is that they rolled out or they expanded on Atlassian University. So, as always, you don't have to listen to me. You could go check out their website. All of their courses are for free. You can watch the different videos. You can learn on the how-tos. This is so key. This is so important because you can learn at your own pace. All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed thinking about AI and another dimension of AI and how Atlassian's using AI. I'm definitely a user. I'm very excited to start to get into these new features and functions and play around with them and see how they can increase efficiency and team collaboration. I know that they will. And welcome again to Wake Up Wednesday. So wake up. I hope you guys have a great day and we'll talk again soon. Bye bye.